Hey everybody, it's Ling here, and I've got with me a guest who actually started out as a student of a particular internet marketing program where in that particular program they were learning how to earn commissions promoting other people's products through Facebook ads. But then him and one of his friends, they went ahead and applied that same model but with a few little tweaks to it, and they did it with YouTube ads, but not talking about, hey, let's get out our phone and start recording ourselves on camera and run ads that promote affiliate products. No, they decided to see if AI could do it for them. So they could basically type in a few prompts here and there and end up with a script and then end up with a video and put that out there and have that promote products and get commissions back. And lo and behold, it worked so well that I first spoke to Chris a couple of years ago when he did this, and this is before even ChatGPT came out or anything like that. And so they were ahead of the game, right? And he was making $47,000 a week at that point. And even now, he's updated his method. It's working even better than before. And recently, he ran a workshop where he actually built a profitable campaign in front of people, and it went from zero to $450,000 in 90 days, which is pretty crazy when you got a lot of people watching you and you're doing it and you're building it in front of people. And that was not even in his traditional niches he likes to go into. He used to go into health and stuff like that, and he decided, right, I'm going to go into this personal development niche and have a go at that, and it did really well. So anyway, without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Chris Reeder. Welcome along, Chris.
Hey Mark, it's a pleasure to be here. And also, it was like $450,000 in 45 days.
45 days, sorry, not 90 days. That still would have been impressive in 90, to be honest, but in 45 days. So that is pretty crazy level of scale. I think one thing that makes it kind of unbelievable to the average person is, to go from zero to, and I'm not saying that's the average result. It's far from the average result. I mean, people can get to 450,000, but for the average person, it takes a bit longer than their first 45 days, but you know what you're doing, right? But I think people don't understand always that there's a cycle of reinvestment. So you might spend 1,000 and make 1,500 back, but now you can take your 1,500, and if that ad works, and it's profitable. Let's say you're selling a dog training course and you've got this video ad that's to do with dog training. If $1,000 in advertising spend results in 1,500, you can keep spending that the next day, and you can scale that up though and spend more each time. Would you mind explaining to people the cycle and reinvestment and how that works when it comes to scaling? Because I think people will wonder, how do you people know how to, I think they get the idea of you can make a few sales a day, but how do you turn that into, say, 200 sales a day or something like that?
Yeah, 100%. If you were to ask me before I stepped into this journey and before I got to where I am now, to say, you made $400,000 in pretty much a month, I would think that's like impossible, because stepping into the online game, the goal for me was like, hey, I want to make like $10,000 a month. Like that was like the goal. And then so now to be able to make, nearly $500,000 in a month, for where I am right now, like it makes so much sense because I got to that journey. So hopefully I can enlighten people on like the sort of economics behind it and how you actually even possibly could get to a point like that. So yeah, like I guess we could jump into the whole affiliate marketing space and how it's actually possible to make that much money first. But, once like the economics of it and like how you get to that point, starting from zero, like how do you get to a point where that's actually even possible is, so first we're focusing on finding a profitable funnel, we'll call it, right? So we're partnering with a product that's converting really, really well. So we don't have to deal with any of the headache of, drop shipping where we have to like source products and we have to build a website and we have to deal with customer service and all these other things. They're all pretty much bottlenecks. The business model that we're focusing on is purely just finding a profitable ad. And then we just need to get someone from our ad to buy the product. And the person that owns the product does all the fulfillment, does all the customer service, they do everything. So we're able to just focus on what makes money pretty much. So all these other business models, you have to focus on all these things that aren't directly making you money, which is the marketing. So
Right.
then,
So just to explain to people, let's say, for instance, you decided you were going to promote, say, a Learn Spanish program, say. That program might sell for $99. They may pay you, say, $75 in commissions. Or maybe they'll even pay you $150 if they know that the lifetime value of their customer is higher. Sometimes you get more than 100% commissions. But let's say it was $75. You might get $75 commission per sale, and then you just need to make an ad using AI and put that ad up on YouTube. Your face isn't even in the ad. You put up this ad on YouTube that goes to a simple page that you've set up that then links off to that offer. And if YouTube figures out who the traffic is, like maybe it's people that live in cities in the USA where there's Spanish speakers in there and English speakers, and it just sort of figures out, because it's got data points on people, so it might show it to all of the people who have a Spanish speaking wife, but they themselves are, say, Caucasian or something, and it might show it to all of them, and then they might find, oh, all those people are buying, and oh, there's millions of those people that are throughout the world that have married, that are like English speaker, married Spanish speaker, and then they start showing the ad to all those people. You don't even know that that's happening though, do you? You just leave it broad open, and YouTube figures it out, and that's using their own sort of stealth method. You just had to make the ad link to the offer and then put the money in to pay for the ad, and that network, YouTube, figures out who to target it to.
yeah, I mean, like what you said is 100% accurate, but I don't even it's even way easier than that as well, to be honest, because that example, although it's 100% possible, we promote a range of different products, like a Spanish, that whole scenario.
Because I've done well in that niche personally, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know you've had a lot of success in the language models, but so that's 100% is the basic formula, yeah. And but for the way, like, the offers that I promote, a lot more generic, like a lot more broad. So I actually like to target offers where it's a very broad offer, right? So we've done health niches in the past, but there's also, parenting niches. There's also DIY niches, like how to build certain things. There's survival niches, like prepper stuff. And there's also manifestation and relationship niches. So all of these niches are very, very broad. And so when we actually go about like targeting and creating an ad, we can speak very broadly, and it targets, we can speak sort of kind of broadly about the offer. And then when we put that out on a YouTube ad, we target broad, and YouTube's algorithm and Google's algorithm, everyone's used Google, so they know exactly what you're searching for. They don't know, as you said, Google has all the data points on you. And so when you put out an offer like that, Google has a lot of sort of like magic behind it, where they'll scan your ad. They know exactly what your ad's about, and they put that ad directly in front of people. And another thing I think a lot of people forget about is when you're watching a YouTube ad, it has that skip now button. So every time someone doesn't skip the ad, Google recognizes that person as interested in your ad. And so then they feed your ad to more people that identify like that person. Because whenever someone skips the ad, it shows that they're not interested. So Google knows that, and they show the ad more to people that don't skip your ad. And so that allows us to pretty much simplify 90% of the business model, because we don't need to do crazy complex targeting or anything, and we don't need to find all these crazy niche products. We focus on like high profit, broad products that sell to 1 out of 5 people on the street.
No, I get what you mean. I mean that's why, and I know it's a different niche, it doesn't really matter, but that's why I went into language learning, because that was, as far as the search engines are concerned, one of the most highly searched for phrases there is. Like top 10 phrases most searched for when I typed just the words how to speak Spanish, how to speak French, how to speak German, they were right in the top 10 of the most searched for phrases. And same with learn Spanish, learn, if you put the word learn. And then I figured out, far out, I live in New Zealand, no one really learns foreign languages here. And then
That's probably the same as me
talk to
as
my
well. 'Cause
American friends and I find out, oh, half the damn people over there are learning a foreign language or speak a foreign language. And then it made me open my eyes to the fact that my reality is different to the world's reality, you know.
well, it's very true because
What's
I don't
broad
even.
to you isn't broad, not, you know, like some people might say manifestation's broad, and then someone else will be like, that's some kitschy little niche, you know. It's kind of
Yeah, it's
interesting.
true. It's true. I mean, learning language is definitely like that's language is probably one of the broadest niches because there's that many languages. So everyone's learning languages every day. So that's very true. Yeah.
It's just different because culturally, I think, you know, we're so isolated. You're in Australia, I'm in New Zealand, but then you go to Europe or anywhere else, you know, and half the customers learning languages are actually not even in the US anyway. They're actually living in France or in Germany or something like that. And that brings me to my next point, you know, and our point is not that you should get in the language learning niche. It's more that there's a lot of broad niches with a lot of profit to be made from good products, right? But my next point is that you've figured out that, hey, even though perhaps the USA is one of the biggest economies, it's not necessarily the most profitable way to run ads. Like you can actually run your ads, even in English, in all of these foreign countries, and you will find that you still make sales. Why is that? And not just make sales, but more profitably many of the time, a lot of the time, than running it in the US.
Yeah. Well, so just like you said, when I originally started running ads and stuff, I pretty much only focused on America because I was like, I speak English. America's like the biggest country. They're the biggest consumers. I'm going to run ads to America, right? And so pretty much my whole like marketing career was just focusing on America, making money in America. But obviously everyone else is kind of doing that. And it's not just other people in our industry, but it's like every single, like imagine, look, like America's the biggest consumer country, which means, yeah, they have buyers, but they also have like way more businesses and people running ads to America. So just by that alone, the cost for traffic, so like how much you have to spend on ads to get people to see your ad is a lot higher in America. Just because
like those companies that say run a hardware store or something in America, they used to put a lot of money into radio ads and into TV ads, and now they're allocating a bunch of that budget to YouTube ads, for instance. It's not that you're competing against affiliates, it's just that you're competing for ad space, full stop.
yeah, just
And
businesses.
those local businesses in America only have limited places they can advertise to, and YouTube is one of them. But once you go outside the US, like those local businesses in the US are not targeting foreign countries, they're just targeting the area that they live in. So things start to open up, don't they?
Yeah, so it's just because there's obviously way more, like America's economy is so big, so there's just way more stuff happening. There's obviously buyers, but there's just way more advertisers there as well in general. And again, not like affiliates or people like us, just in general. And so, yeah, I used to run a lot of ads in America and then started dabbling with foreign countries. So, you know, there's different segments you can promote and test into, like different Western countries, but also, you know, EU countries and even worldwide as well, and other pockets of countries. And originally, again, like I never did it because I was like, oh, I only create ads in English. I don't want to create ads in like, you know, German or French or, you know, Dutch or something like that. So I just stuck away from it. But then I just started running my own ads in English to like all of Europe, right? Even worldwide. Like I was testing with all this sort of stuff and I was making way cheaper sales. So I was actually way more profitable running in these foreign countries. Like, you know, obviously running in big Western countries like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, UK, but even other countries like these little pocket, tiny countries, even like Luxembourg and places like this were, you know, I was making so much money in these little countries.
Well, the interesting thing is that one, in some countries, people actually are just educating their kids in English. They're just saying, nope, we're just speaking English around the house now because we need to know English. And they go to an English-speaking school. They all speak English around the house. You know, I know people in the Philippines like that. They have an American accent and they've never been outside the Philippines and they've been brought up to speak English the whole time, right? The top sort of 10% of, say, people over there, it's sort of a class thing. They all seem to speak really good English and they may be searching in English. But then secondly, there are a lot of expat Americans, expat
Yeah.
British people, expat South Africans, people from Australia, New Zealand that actually live all over the world. They could be anywhere. They could be living in India. They could be living in, like you said, Luxembourg or Germany. I mean, be interesting. I'm just going to Google
I'm
numbers.
just gonna think how many Americans live in like Japan or something.
Okay, in Japan, let's try that. Number of Americans living in Japan. Okay, so in Japan that's 63,000. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. But then
Well, look, I just typed
you
in
add
Germany.
that, but that's
There's
only that's 2% of the. So it's not actually that high. It's 2% of the number of overseas people living in Japan. So they must have other people from other countries like China and that living there because that's interesting.
And there's 500,000 Americans living in Germany.
500,000. Right, there you go, in Germany. So that's 500,000. You know, that's not bad, but that's just Americans. What about how many number of people from the UK in Germany? And that's registered people. So there we go. We've got 170,000 as of 2021. So it might be 200,000 by now. Let's say it's 170,000 though. But that's the number of people that have registered. A lot of people don't register because they're just there for 3 months, 6 months. People register when they actually get a job there.
Yeah.
People don't. So that might only still be a small percentage of them. And it's just to say that when you advertise in English in those countries, it's not just locals that are searching in English. It's actually, there are people there that are from America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, like English-speaking countries that are actually searching in English anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think all those numbers are probably not super legit, but I think the concept is there's a ton of actual West, like Americans living there. But also on top of that, you know, I've traveled to a lot of countries around Europe and around the world, Japan, everywhere. And like, you know, I reckon at least like 1/6 of the people in these countries speak English. Like if you're in a foreign country and you get lost and you ask a random person on the street, just going up to a random person on the street, the odds of them speaking English are actually quite high. And so like English is obviously the biggest, you know, apart from Chinese or whatever, but it's the most known language, really. And so you're able to run these ads in English to the whole world, and you're able to make a ton of sales. And the other thing as well is because even there's also like an authority point of it as well. Like if you think foreign people love like American songs, you know, like they love American songs, they sing like English music and stuff. So when they get an ad that's in English and they know English, they like listen to it, right? Because it's like something that they understand, so they're going to listen to it. And so the other thing as well is you can target as well only English speakers, like people that speak English as well in these countries. So you can target worldwide, but just people that speak English. And now your audience is massive, like way bigger, and you have such a bigger market and more people to actually hit with your ad than targeting just America. And because of that, your cost, like the amount you have to pay to get in front of people's eyes is way lower, like 7 times cheaper than paying for traffic in America. So that means you're able to test way easier and you're able to scale much, much higher with higher profit.
Well, I remember when I first started trying targeting traffic in India, and it was like, oh, this is great. It's only about 1 or 2 cents a click. I mean, and I was getting tons of traffic and I was making barely any sales, and I thought, it doesn't work. It wasn't profitable, and I went away from it. And then about 2 years later, I tried it again, but I left it going for longer and found that once the algorithm had picked up on the sales that were being made, all of a sudden it became profitable. So all of a sudden it went from being unprofitable at, you know, like, because it has to actually access a lot of people to figure out who to send that traffic to who's not just speaking English, because there's like 130 million people that speak English in India, like 130 million, but some of them are still not that affluent, right? But then it figures out who's affluent, who isn't, the algorithm. Then all of a sudden it was like, man, I'm making actually more money in India than I am in the USA. It was $3 for every dollar spent. So I was able to spend $1,000 and make $3,000 back in India Like the only issue with it was I couldn't really. I found it was difficult to scale too highly, so I could do it in India 3-1, but I would have to go to other countries as well in order to scale. If that makes sense. So, is that how you're finding it right now? Like the foreign traffic model, it's like it works really well as long as you've got a lot of countries. Like don't try to go right. Let's find the one golden country and just target that.
Well, that's 100%, yeah, because the way like YouTube's algorithm works is it likes to be broad. Like its algorithm's so smart, it wants to have a large like playground, for it to do its thing. And so that's why I target like a large amount of like countries, and it might go and find a sale here in France, and then find a sale here in Norway, and then find a sale here in like New Zealand or wherever. Like it just finds sales and it spends its money testing all these little countries for you. And then wherever is making sales, it sort of focuses its budget in. So yeah, I never really scale into just one country. I like to have a ton of different countries in there so it can pick up all the cheapest sales. Because if it could pick up a bunch of cheap sales in like Germany, France, Italy, then the next day it finds all these sales in like India or like, all these random countries like Gibraltar and all these little countries.
Yeah. To scale into a country, it's probably a locally relevant offer like car insurance for Germans or something like that. Then it's fine. You're going to scale that offer in Germany, but that's different because it's locally relevant. But when it's broad and worldwide relevant, it's a lot easier to just have a lot more countries available. So
yeah, and as you mentioned as well, like the clicks, like to pay, it's way cheaper. So it's way cheaper to get clicks, and so obviously every single click you can get can become a sale. And so if you get cheaper clicks, you typically make more money.
You may need to have more people though. Like I'll just give you a quick example. Let's say in one country, let's say we're talking about Finland. Let's say it's 10 cents a click there, right? And let's say it's 1 cent per click over in, say, India. Then you may find that, and it's 50 cents a click in the USA, say. You may find that the USA, 1 in every 100 people buy. And over in Finland, it's 1 in every 200 people buy. And over in India, it's 1 in every 500 people buy. But because those clicks were 1 cent and those were 50 cents, or those were 10 cents and those were 50 cents, you actually made more money in Finland, say, than America, even though it got seen by more people. So we're not saying that it will convert higher to sales. Sometimes it does, though. Sometimes the conversion rates are higher too. But we're saying because of the difference in price, that if you can spend 1,000 and make 2,000 back instead of spending 1,000 and making 1,500 back, that's better, right? Like your money goes further.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so that's why we test foreign traffic and we scale into foreign traffic now. Like that's the main sort of thing that I've been doing recently, because it's a lot. There's a lot more money to be made, especially with US costs rising and stuff. But and the obviously, like with the whole business model, like you asked me previously, like how we actually scale to those numbers and how we create the ads and stuff. So
yeah, I was going to ask you. So what is a general overview of your 3-step system, if you could just try to keep it a little bit simplified for now?
Yeah, so obviously we could diving into all the tactics of, people might be thinking this is too much going over my head and stuff, but to simply put the traffic strategy, it's like, we just target broad and we target English across like the whole world, and it's way cheaper and we can make way more sales. That's that simply put. But yeah, so for actually the system that I do, so as you mentioned, we use AI to create a script. So the first thing we need is a script, because in order to sell something,
before that you need to know what offer it is too.
Oh,
right?
yeah. So we choose an offer, and as I mentioned, I typically choose offers that are really broad and they solve problems. So for example, like you mentioned some people might not know about the manifestation niche, but the manifestation niche, self-development niche is really, really big, and there's a ton of money to be made in it. There's also the parenting niche, the relationship niche. Obviously, you've got the health niches and stuff as well. Like, you know, so pretty much every niche, the biggest one's obviously health, wealth, and relationships.
There's a lot of products that are really good that pay high commissions as well if you manage to send them traffic that buys their product, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so for people that don't really know like people are thinking, what are we actually selling? So yeah, there's networks out there where product owners give you the right to sell their product, and every time you sell their product, they give you like 80% commission or even 90%, 95% commission. So they have this product that is like a really good product. They've got everything built out for you. They've got testimonials, they've got real results, they've got real teams, real systems, like a real business. And then you can just send them like a click. Like I could send Mark my link, and if Mark buys the product, I get paid a commission. And that's what we do on a mass scale. So every single time I, send a link to someone and they buy it, I get a commission. So if the product's $100, I get, $80 of that. And so that's the general sense. But through paid ads and with YouTube, instead of just sending the link to someone, we can put that product in front of like 1,000 people every single day. And so if you put that product in front of 1,000 people and 5% of them buy, that's a lot of money in your pocket every single day.
Right. So because that would be 50 sales.
Yeah.
And if it's paying you $80 each, that's $4,000 a day.
Exactly.
If you're spending $2,000 to make it, then you've made $2,000 profit. And it doesn't mean you start with a $2,000 spend, but it is a spend money to make money model. Like you spend $50 to make 100, but every business model out there on the planet is spend money to make money. It's all about, you've got to do that in some way, shape or form in order to get ahead in life. Like if you owned a local gym, then you're going to be spending money on gym equipment and on staff and on running maybe radio ads or something to get people to your gym, right? And then you're spending money to make money by running those radio ads. And instead of having to own a gym or a big physical business, you just have to promote an affiliate product. That's all. So it's a simplified version of all business models out there where they're spending money to get more visitors in order to make a profit and from selling products.
Well, that's why I think it is literally the best business model, affiliate marketing, the specific affiliate marketing we do, because every business needs marketing, and you could have the best business in the world, but if you don't have marketing, you're never going to get sales and you're never going to make money. Pretty much, like every good business is like a really good business, and then they have really good marketing. And so the cool thing about what we do is all you need to do is just focus on the marketing. We only need to focus on the one thing that actually makes money, which is the marketing. Like we don't have to, because we partner with these other brands and product owners, they do all the other stuff that doesn't directly make the money, and we focus on what directly makes money, which is the good thing. And I've spoken to a lot of people that come into this industry, and they're like, that's what I love, because you could spend hours and years building a business and making the best thing ever, like the best gym, but until you actually market it, you've not made any money until you actually get people to buy your stuff. So we're purely focusing on that. And yeah, so that in a sense is what we're doing. And then, so the concept is, all right, well, how do we actually get people to buy the product? Like, how do we do it? And so, yeah, once you choose a product that you're going to promote, then we need to create a video ad. And so, as you mentioned, we don't have to put our face in the ad. We don't have to record ourselves. We don't have to do any of that. What we do is we create first a script, and then we turn that script into a video with an AI voice. And so there's AI tools out there. And as you said, we've been doing this since before ChatGPT. So, AI nowadays is really, really good, but with our specific AI tools, we've trained them on exactly what scripts work. And we can get into that later, but pretty much we use AI to create a script for a product, right? And so once we have that script, we then put that script into an AI tool that creates the voice, and it literally just reads the script out. And then we then turn that into a very simple video. like very, very simple video. No fancy, crazy, high budget like ads. It's just a very simple video. And then we put that on YouTube and we just put it in front of people. And then the audience that's interested in it, they watch it. And if you have the right psychological points in there and it follows the right formula, they get hooked in, they watch the video, they click through, and then they buy the product, and then we make a commission.
It's pretty crazy, I think, how people don't realize they can just put a script in and press a button and the AI can make a video. Like, it will figure it out. Like, let's say you're promoting a dentist supplement that helps restore tooth enamel, and it'll literally see you say the line about the dentistry industry is shocked by this amazing discovery or something, and then lo and behold on the screen will be a dentist like leaning in on someone about to do some work on their mouth or something, and it'll just put that in. It just finds the B-roll and puts it in and just puts in all of the scenes for you, so people that aren't video editors are able to make their first ad in the space of less than an hour. That's quite remarkable, really, I guess.
Yeah. And the thing is, you don't even need to know, like, you don't need to be good at, like, writing something that sells, or what we call copywriting, right? You don't need to be actually good at it anymore. You know, Mark, when you've probably got into online business, you probably had to learn a lot about copywriting compared to when I...
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So, yeah. So,
I mean,
exactly.
It's still important because you want to know when you see good copy, but you don't have to be the one writing it when an AI tool can just write it for you.
Yeah,
you still
exactly.
Want to know what looks good and what doesn't. You still want to understand it so that you can make tweaks and test things.
Yeah, but that's like the power of AI, which is so revolutionary, because instead of me sitting there like writing out a script, I can just type a couple words into the AI tool and it will literally give me a script. And so just an example is like, if, for example, like a baby sleeping product, right? Because if you're a parent who's got a baby that doesn't sleep, that's a problem that you would pay to solve. So you could type in, baby sleeping product, and then the script, it will give you a script that targets all of the pain points of like a parent that has a baby that's not sleeping. And the script, the beginning of it will say, did you know thousands of mothers are using this simple baby sleep formula or baby sleep method to put their children to sleep and are sleeping better than ever before? Like that sentence there, obviously I came up with that, but the AI tool will create sentences like this in a whole script, and you put that in front of a bunch of people, and if they're parents, they're going to watch that video.
Yeah, and just to explain, it's not like it's hallucinating or making this stuff up. You could literally just take the sales page of the product, copy, paste, and put it into the tool and press a button. Now it knows what the offer is, and now it will write an ad about it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You could take something from the affiliate's resources of that site, like an email, and just paste it in. So I'm not saying that you just write baby sleep product and press enter. That will work, but now it's going to have to fill in a lot of stuff that it doesn't know about the product, like you said. But if it knows what the product is, it's only going to use real information about that product.
Yeah, exactly. I should have clarified that. Yeah, like it's not just making up nonsense, but you can feed, like the people that you're partnering with, the brands, the offers that you're promoting have information about the product, so you can sell it better. And so you can take that information and put it into the AI tools. So the AI understands all the pain points of someone who would buy that, and it meshes that with the actual benefits and the features of the product you're creating, and it gives you the entire script based on that. And so that that's an example of a product we would sell. And if you put that ad out on YouTube, anyone that's got a sleepless baby is going to get hooked in on that, and they're going to watch the ad, and then they're going to click through, and then obviously a percentage of them are going to purchase the product.
No, absolutely, and that's how it works. I mean, I've been doing affiliate marketing, as you know, since 1999, so it's been like a quarter of a century, and it hasn't changed. It's just the delivery of it has changed. Like back then, it was about putting up articles and getting them ranking in Alta Vista and Yahoo and Excite, and then it became Google, and then it became trying to get stuff shown on Facebook, and then it was and before that, running ads on Google or on Yahoo. Like, at the end of the day, people are searching for stuff, and right now, a lot of the world's traffic just happens to be watching stuff on YouTube. They may or may not be searching on YouTube, but YouTube is owned by Google, so they still know what that person has been searching for. So they still know what's relevant to that person when that shows them ads. And a lot of people are on YouTube now, and that's where the traffic is. So people for a little while didn't know how to put a video ad up, but now with AI they can go, I don't even have to get in front of the camera. I can just generate a script and press a few buttons and do a few tweaks here and there, and bam, I've got my video ad up, and now I can start running it. And that's why it's become more accessible to more people, I guess. And I know your students have had a massive success. In fact, it's kind of crazy, but Chris's students have made over $300 million in commissions.
It's crazy.
Which,
yeah.
And verified commissions, by the way. We've got one of the
300
networks that even wrote a letter, that verified this. And you've probably actually got more from other networks that haven't written you a letter yet, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. 364 million.
Yeah, 364
US
million,
dollars, which is like over $500 million Australian dollars, which is insane.
Yeah, no, so you should be really proud of that. But just to say, I'm more saying it more so people know that this is a genuine business opportunity that works. But it doesn't necessarily come without obstacles. All business models have stubborn obstacles that get in your way. You may have to test 10 ads before you get to your profitable one. You'll make some sales, but it may not be at a profit. You could spend $500, make $300 back, so you've made some sales, but you're down $200 until you find that profitable ad. But once it's profitable, once you're spending $200 and making $400 back, for instance, and then you do it a second time and you spend $200 and another $400 comes back, now you're able to go, oh, maybe I'll spend $400, and then you try that and you say, oh, I made $750 back. It's getting close, and you start testing and tweaking, and next thing you know, you're able to scale higher, and it more than pays back for any losses that occurred while you were testing to get there. So that's the beauty of this model. It's just testing, measuring, and so forth.
I like to say that it's the most simple business. I think it's, I've tried like every single business model, as you know, Mark, and I think it is the most simple business model. It's the simplest, but again, as you said, it's not easy. Everything has challenges. Everything's got things you need to work out. And if something's worth doing, it's going to take some energy. It's not just like, you're going to put half, you're not even going to pay attention and you're going to be making thousands of dollars a day. You've obviously got to put energy into it and learn the process.
It's like saying chess is easy. It's easier to learn the game chess, right? But it's hard to fully master it. But most people, if they put a bit of time in, could become relatively good at it. And that's all. But when it comes to affiliate marketing, if you are relatively good, you are making like $100,000 a year. If you're really good, you're making $1,000 a day. If you're one of those top 10 percenters, maybe you're making $10,000 a day. That's the crazy thing about it. It's like you're playing a game almost, but you get paid for it. So, that's part of what I've loved about that model over the years. It's just sort of trying to get a high score, but you get paid for it.
I was telling my friend, I was like, it's really easy to understand, just like learning, football. But, anyone can step on a football pitch and start playing around and get some results. But to get good at it, it's going to take some energy. And I like to say is like, look at the results that you're able to achieve with this business model. Like, we've got so many students doing like $10,000 a day, for example, or even even more. We got students doing like 60,000 plus a day, but anywhere from like $100 a day to like $60,000 a day. So where would you rather put your energy in? Like, if you were to just say, go down two paths and take the time and energy to learn, building an agency or something, it's going to take, like, both options are going to take the same amount of energy, but this one has way higher returns and is way more lucrative. So, the quote, like, if you're going to, it doesn't matter the energy you put in, it matters the vehicle that you're in. Have you heard that quote?
No, but it makes sense to me. I mean, I know people that work extremely hard in their day jobs and are making, say, I'll just make a number up, but say $1,000 a week. And I know people that work equally hard and are making $1,000 a day. The world isn't fair how it pays people. it doesn't pay you based on your effort, but you probably do have to put effort in to do well at anything. But
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just that the upside in affiliate marketing is a lot higher for that effort, I guess, than other models.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is kind of
exactly.
one of the, I guess, the great things about it. And it's mainly because the world is your market, whereas most things that you get into, your market is your local area. But here you can advertise to the entire world, so the world's a really big place. And once you find a profitable area of it, profitable ad and stuff, you end up doing quite well.
Well, that's why and it goes to the point of like how you actually are able to make that much money, because some people make $40,000 in a year, and then to see someone make $40,000 in a day doesn't really make sense. And so, like, if you look at the local shop next to you, like a local shop, right? Their market is literally only the people within like a 20-minute drive, or the people that are just walking along the street. It's like, how many people are actually going to walk past that fish and chip shop every day and buy fish and chips? Like there's going to be like 50 or 100 people walk past it a day. Whereas we could have literally 5,000 people see our ad every day, if not, 100,000 people see our ad every day. And that's how you start scaling. It's just like, once you have something that's working, it's just like, hey, I'm going to put it in front of more people because I can. Because we're leveraging the internet, we're leveraging YouTube, and that's how we're able to make so much money. Because if you can make like 5 sales a day profitable, you could make 500 sales a day profitable, because it's just about getting more eyeballs.
Absolutely. Now, you're about to run a workshop all about this, where you're going to go through how this works. People get to see stuff on screen rather than just seeing our faces and hear us talk about it. So if you're interested in seeing how this model works, if you're interested in seeing how other people have done with this model and what they've done with it, or how much they've made, how it's changed their lives and what they've gone about doing, if you're interested in knowing about how the AI tools work or how this 3-step model works in detail, then make sure you join that workshop with Chris. And the link for that will either be in the description below or be just straight below this video on the webpage or something like that. And I highly recommend that you go ahead and join that, because it could be, like it has been for many people, it could be life-changing, this particular model, if it's right for you. And if it's not right for you, then at least you know what you're saying no to by turning up to the webinar and just having a look and see, is this something that you're interested in? Have you got anything to say about the workshop coming up, Chris?
Yeah, so I've put together a training video and a workshop that actually goes through the steps. We've discussed, if anything we've discussed here interests you, and if you're interested in making money online, you should definitely check it out. It's a little bit more structured. I reveal like the exact 3 steps and what the videos are like, how to choose the offers, what offers we promote. So it's very structured in the way like what I'm actually teaching you guys. And then, also show a lot of our actual students as well, and like the results that they've able to achieve, and a little bit about their story as well. So like, if you're interested in making money online, then definitely check this out, because as Mark said, we have some of the most crazy student results out there, and it's because of how powerful and simple the business model is. So yeah, if you are interested in learning how to make money online, definitely check it out. It's really, really, it's like really, really valuable just to learn how you can implement this stuff yourself. And then obviously, see if this is the right thing for you as well.
Well, I just want to say a big thank you to you, Chris, for being on this particular call and for being really open and sharing everything about the system and how it works. I just want to say a big thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And for everyone watching, take action with what you learn. Jump on the workshop, take lots of notes, and I'd love to be hearing about all the affiliate sales that you're making at some stage in the future. So anyway, take action with what you learn, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now, everybody.